Hello and welcome to our Governing Board meeting. I'm going to go ahead and call to order the regular meeting of the Governing Board. We're going to go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, C, discussion and possible action to approve the board meeting minutes dated February 6, 2024.
I move to approve the board meeting minutes from February 6, 2024.
I second it.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that brings us to construction update from Amber Bordas and Cole Morris.
President Revolt, members of the Governing Board, tonight's construction presentation is to discuss what's occurred over the last month since our last update in February. How does this go? There we go. Perfect. All of these construction projects are related to the effective operations and systems under priorities and goals. All of these projects that are currently being completed at all of our campuses are used through state funding. So any construction that you're seeing is being completed by the award of the Schools Facility Division. And so that's really optimizing the use of those funds through all of these projects. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. There we go. Okay, we have 5 projects to talk about tonight. We have secondary space at Eastmark High School and Chrisman High. This allocation was from the SFD. It's going to provide 23 classrooms at Eastmark High and 18 classrooms at Chrisman High. We also have elementary academic wings that are going up. We have Gateway Polytechnic Academy, which will add 12 classrooms to that campus. And then Schneff Elementary, we're able to complete phase 2 of that campus with 14 classrooms. We're also excited to announce that we've been working on Elementary 10. This is awarded by the SFD. It's the biggest elementary school awarded by the SFD to support over 1,000 students. And that campus is going to break ground in May. But we have some updates for that as well. In addition to that, we have some basic fields at Chrisman and Eastmark High. These are also funded through a state allocation reimbursement. When we purchased the land at Chrisman High School, the amount came in higher than what the state had allocated, and so the district had to cover the difference. And after 3 years, we were able to receive that reimbursement from the state to provide this space at both of our campuses. So our district is 48 square miles. We look at it in 3 parts. We have our northern region, which is in the yellow, the central region, which is in purple, and then our southern portion of our district that's in blue. We're currently supporting 14,700 students. We're expected to support about 20,000 students in the next 10 years, and really all of these areas are in hyper growth, and there are academic wing or classroom space needs in all of these areas. So we're going to look at those regions today. We're going to start on the southern portion of our district with Chrisman High School. Chrisman High School opened last year, and we're able to add on our junior high academic wing to that campus. What you'll see is the master plan of this campus, and what we're going to be talking about tonight is the building in orange. That's the junior high academic wing. And Cole's going to take us through the progress of construction.
Thank you, Amber. Appreciate it. We're working on first floor rough ends. The east stair installation, we've got the second floor joists in place. Of course, a lot of this stuff was done a few weeks ago. We've actually got the roof dried in now. That building's actually dried in, and hopefully we'll be starting with drywall next week.
Ready.
Onto the fields, Chrisman High fields. We are importing soil to raise the heights of the fields. We've set the survey. We're continuing to balance the site with the soil. We're taking some of that soil from Eastmark to help save costs. And we're also starting on fencing and backstops.
Perfect. The goal is that this academic wing will be open in July to welcome students, and that these fields will be completed in the fall to support the student space that's required on that campus. All right, remaining in the southern portion, we're going to look at Schnepp Elementary. Schnepp Elementary is a feeder school to Chrisman High School. This opened in 2021 as a phase 1. We have the opportunity to complete this campus with phase 2 with the school's facility division funds, and that's looking at that tan building that's on the master plan there. And Cole's going to talk about the progress of construction.
Thank you, Amber. Schnepp Elementary, the second floor dividing wall is up. We also are working on the mechanical, the plumbing, and the electrical, which includes the fire sprinkler install for the second floor. And we're also working on the roofing and have that one almost dried in as well to hopefully start drywall again in the next couple weeks.
Absolutely. This academic wing is also slated to open in July and welcome students for the next school year. All right, now we're going to go to the northern portion of our district, which is in the Eastmark area. We're going to look at Eastmark High School. Eastmark High School's got about 1,900 students enrolled right now, and we're able to complete half of an academic wing that's part of this master plan. With the SFD funds, we could only afford to build half of that building. Our goal is to be able to go back and complete the other portion of that building using state funds that were recently awarded. We're waiting for the JLBC to recommend the rest. But we're going to talk about this tan portion of the master plan and its progress tonight. This academic wing is also scheduled to open in July to welcome students as we know that campus and that community continues to grow.
Thank you. Eastmark, it's a little bit further behind on the other ones only because of its size. It's still on schedule. The general contractor and the architect are working feverishly to get that finished up. The bottom floor, we're doing all the mechanical, plumbing, electrical. Second floor, we're actually setting the joist. They're actually sheeting the deck, and we should hopefully be starting roof in the next couple weeks on that one. And then on the Eastmark High Fields, they have the survey done. They're also setting the backstops and the posts for the fence and working on final grade for the fields themselves.
Perfect. And it's important to note, while these are baseball and softball fields, they're actually built to be multi-purpose fields, so other athletic activities or extracurriculars can get on those fields and hopefully support a lot of the practices that are taking place on that campus, so we can get students the practice that they need and get them home on time for their families. All right. Then the next one is Gateway Polytechnic Academy. This campus was actually complete, but due to the growth in the Eastmark area, we had to come back and allocate more student space to support. GPA currently has over 1,000 students enrolled. The other elementary school that's up in the Eastmark area has over 1,300 students enrolled. So it was important to be able to provide space on that campus. This is the master plan of GPA. We're adding on that addition in this back portion that you'll see in the tan. It's scheduled to open in July to continue to support the growth in that community.
Thank you, Amber. Gateway is a little bit further ahead. They're actually drywalling. We have one side of drywall insulation done. It's completely dried in with the roof. Most of the priming is done on the outside, and they're going to be starting to paint.
Perfect. Okay. And that last one is looking at Elementary 10. Elementary 10 is also in that northern portion. The SFD purchased the land for us to be able to build an elementary school on there, and then they're allocating all of the funds to complete that campus. We'll be one of the first districts that's able to build an elementary school with state funds and not appropriating additional funds to complete that project. Again, it's the biggest award the SFD has seen in elementary to support our growing community. And we're breaking ground in May, but we do have some visuals to show the community as we continue to make progress on design.
Absolutely. Thank you, Amber. We're still on track to start in May. We've been working with the GC and the architect on design and just kind of fine-tuning that. We have reviewed the full GMP number 2 for budget, which we've got the budget. We've received the first review on the comments from both the City of Mesa and McDOT on the plans that we submitted. The first plan review is complete, and comments were very minimal with no major concerns, and we're getting ready to do the second submittal.
Perfect. Here's a first floor, second floor visual of the academic wing. Here's an exterior picture of what that campus is planned to look like. And then here are some future renderings. We also want to note that we were able to apply for a tree grant to be able to provide trees for that campus, to be able to beautify that and make sure that we have landscaping in there, and we were able to complete that with a grant opportunity. So at this time, we'll take any questions.
All right, no questions. Thank you so much. That brings us to our superintendent's report. Dr. Berry.
Yes, President Revolt, members of the board, community members, thank you for being here. We got a full house. I always give my superintendent report through the lens of our strategic plan. We have 5 priorities, and I want to march right through this. It's a fairly lengthy report, so bear with me. Starting with priority 1, which is a safe and healthy environment. We have a commitment to fostering a safe and healthy environment at Queen Creek Unified School District, and we are proud that staff members from all of our sites participated in a suicide prevention training from the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. Through this training, participants became certified facilitators for their respective school sites throughout all of our schools. So it's kind of a train-the-trainer model. The next item I'd like to highlight is that last month, each of our high school campuses conducted CPR training for all students. High schools are required to provide students with at least one training session of CPR during the course of study. At Queen Creek High School, students receive CPR training through physical education classes on an annual basis. The training was facilitated by Queen Creek Fire Department. And by the way, I said Queen Creek High School. It's Queen Creek Unified. All 3 of our high schools get this training. Priority 2 is effective operations. And for this area, I'd like to commend our dedicated and educational services department. This department actively pursues alternative funding opportunities to develop and sustain programs tailored to meet the diverse needs of our students. Since July of 2023, we have successfully secured approximately $540,000 in grant funding for Queen Creek Unified. These grants have facilitated the acquisition of STEM materials, expanded tutoring services, increased staffing, enrichment services, and even contributed to the planting of the shade trees that Amber just mentioned. Priority 3 is effective partnerships, something that our board values. In this area, the district recently collaborated with the town of Queen Creek to host a financial literacy family event. And town of Queen Creek council member Brian McClure delivered a presentation titled How Money Works and to parents and students. The course covered essential topics such as savings, budgeting, investing in debt, and life after high school. We also hosted our 3rd quarterly business partner breakfast. I think we had over 130 people in this boardroom. And during this breakfast, attendees networked and they learned about our new Barnage College Prep School of Choice that's coming up next year. Priority 4 is exceptional personnel. And I just want to congratulate our district marketing and PR department for recently winning 4 awards at the annual ASPRA event. And both Vice President Davis and I attended that event. And they won awards for multimedia marketing campaign, for the neighborhood school campaign, 2 awards for the video category of Chrisman High School construction video and the Queen Creek graduation video. And lastly, in the photo category for Eastmark High School, they won an award for the graduation photo that was taken. Also in this category, on February 15th, the district celebrated National School Resource Officer Appreciation Day. As part of our ongoing commitment to emphasize the importance of SROs, or school resource officers, and the positive effects they have on our campus life, we showcased Officer Katie Williams in the Staff Spotlight Series. And I just want to thank all of our SRO officers and the partnership we have with the City of Mesa and the town of Queen Creek for these SRO officers and the dedication they serve our students. Last and probably the most important priority, here's the video.
So I'm Officer Katie Williams, been a school resource officer here at Chrisman High School, been a police officer for 17 years.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Well, now we're on to our most important priority, and that is student success, priority 5. And I'm proud to share the achievement of our 8th grade girls basketball team from Queen Creek Junior High. And if you guys are here, would you guys come up and stand right up in the front of Queen Creek? And Coach Gordon as well. So, listen, this is hot off the press. This team last night completed a undefeated record of 12-0, beating Castile, and I think the score was 33-22 or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that this is a team of tough girls. They've been focused since last year on winning the championship in 8th grade and put in the hard work over the off season and during the season to make it happen. They played as a team, supported one another, and set a great example for our student body of what it means to be a true student athlete. And I just wanted to give the coach a moment to say a couple of things, and then just everyone give him a big round of applause.
Just like Superintendent Perry said, the girls, they were determined this year. They were defeated last year in the 7th grade championship game. One of the first things that we talked about when we met was getting back to the same place and this time winning. And they proved it each game, and they are a great group of kids, not only on the basketball floor but in the classroom, and they represent Queen Creek first class. Good job, girls.
Thank you, guys. You guys can have a seat now. Thank you. Congratulations. Oh. Shifting gears to career and technical education, I'm about to recognize around 15 CTE students. So if you are here as a CTE student, I want you to come up in the front of the room while I talk about each of you individually. I'm assuming you're here from all 3 high schools. Would you guys please come to the front of the room? And Quincy, I want to have Queen Creek High School. Yeah. Now, come on up in the front, guys. Yeah, just have them line up here. I've got a lot to go over with this group right here, but this is a pretty special announcement. Last month was, I think it was National CTE Month. We didn't have the opportunity to present this last month, so one of our priority for student success includes preparing students for post-graduation opportunities. And throughout our district, at our high schools, we offer about 18 different CTE programs that cultivate student talent. Through strategic partnerships with EVIT, our programs not only nurture skills, but also offer opportunities for industry-relevant certifications during high school. In the past year, our students have achieved nearly 600 industry certifications, and today, standing before you, we're going to highlight 15 students from our CTE programs across all 3 high schools. And I want to have the students from Queen Creek High School take one step forward for just a moment. And I want to start by kind of clipping through these slides here. And Quincy's you're going to help me, right? Okay. First up, I want to say Madison Newman. Madison, raise your hand. Where are you at? She was recently named the Arizona Republic Student of the Week. As a culinary student, Madison plans to be a baker and restaurant owner in the future. Next, Shelby, raise your hand. Shelby Thrall is an adult childhood education student. Her goals include attending NAU and becoming an elementary school teacher, and we'll hopefully be able to hire her back one of these days. Addison Smith. Addison's in the film and TV program, and her goal is to become a political journalist. Olivia Cronin. And she's in one of our outstanding nursing programs, and her goal is to attend Chandler Gilbert Community College to pursue a career in trauma nursing. And Cashlyn Rope, how do I say that? Cashlyn Repke. Raise your hand. She's one of our agri-science students, and Cashlyn has a goal of becoming an agricultural lawyer at some point in time. So let's give the Queen Creek High School CT students a round of applause. Next, I would like to have the Eastmark High School students stand forward, please. Now, Eastmark High School also has they have exactly 11 CTE programs that are establishing routes to producing talent. And today we recognize Rebecca LaHaye. Where are you at, Rebecca? And she's in the nursing program, and she has a goal of becoming an orthodontist. Are you still planning on going to Alabama? University of Alabama? Yeah, I remember that. Jake Guthrie. Also a nursing student, and Jake's goal is to be a pediatrician. Haley All. Raise your hand. There you go. Haley is in the sports medicine program, and Haley has set her goal for herself in becoming a pediatrician. And then last but not least, Aaron Godfrey. Raise your hand. He's in the computer science program, and Aaron plans to become a software engineer. Let's give it up for the Eastmark High School CT students. Now, the Chrisman High School students, please stand forward for recognition. Now, Chrisman's our newest high school. It's only in its second year, but we already have 8 CTE programs that are growing. And today we recognize first Carlos Trujillo. Raise your hand. Carlos is in the digital photography program, and Carlos has a goal to own his own HVAC business. Next, I would like to recognize Rachel Lunt. She's also in our nursing program. She's a nursing student, and Rachel has a goal of becoming an ICU nurse. Madison Maselli. Madison is in the medical assisting program, and she has plans to become a military physician. That's awesome. Jonathan Hansen. Jonathan is in the film and TV program. Jonathan is exploring careers in both film and the TV industry. Gavin, Gavin, how do you help? Isignore. Sorry, Gavin. I am so sorry, Gavin. I apologize. But Gavin is in the film and as a film and TV student, and he has a goal to become a professional musician. And last but not least, I want to recognize Kaylin Revolt. Kaylin is in the sports medicine program, and Kaylin plans on becoming an athletic trainer. Let's give it up for the Chrisman High School CT program. Behind every successful student, there are successful, hardworking parents. For what? Oh, okay. What's your name, son? And what's your program? What's your goal? And guys, listen. If I could just bring attention to Jalen White. Jalen, stand forward just a second. He is not on my list. That's my fault. I apologize for that. But Jalen, he's here for a different recognition, but he's also in a nursing program, and he has future goals of being an ICU travel nurse. So give it up for Jalen. Anyway, I just wanted to recognize the students for their great work. With all their success, we need to recognize their parents and families, and also their educators that support them, counselors and administration. So give it up for all the educators and families. And you guys can be seated. Yeah, we'll get your pictures, but go ahead and go. And then few years ago, we started a kind of an alumni spotlight, and one of our fundamental goals as an organization is to prepare students for the lives they lead outside of school, and that is why we started this alumni spotlight recognition a few years ago. I like alumni spotlights because they are reflective opportunities. They remind us all of the academic and non-academic lessons students learn within our classrooms and our programs. These alumni stories sometimes remind educators of the real reason they chose public education to begin with, and that is they want to make a difference. And tonight's spotlight is a student that is not here. His name is Cody Funderburk. Now, Cody graduated from Queen Creek High School back in 2015. Cody was drafted in 2018, is now employed by the Minnesota Twins, and is currently in spring training in Fort Myers, Florida. Cody made his Major League Baseball debut this past year against Cleveland, and he threw 2 perfect innings in relief. Cody said that Queen Creek educators, both Mike Campbell, Noel Barney, a high school teacher, and Mike Campbell, Queen Creek High School, and Noel Barney Junior High, Eric Pylon, were especially instrumental in his development work ethic and ultimately his success. I interviewed Cody a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me this stuff. But Cody is a student who performed well academically, but it was the non-academic lessons that he learned on the playing fields that made the biggest impact in his current success. Specifically, Cody attributes his success to what he calls the blue-collar work ethic, and that was expected of him. And these educators that I just mentioned had high expectations, and when they pushed him out of his comfort zone, which helped him mentally, emotionally, physically, something that he appreciates no matter where his career leads. We're very proud to have educators like Mr. Campbell and Mr. Pylon everywhere, those who make a difference. We're also proud of Cody for his athletic career, and more importantly, we're proud of the quality person he has become and the character that he embodies. Thank you. That concludes my long report.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to our Employees of the Month, the Power of One recognition. The Power of One awards are given during the board meetings each month to selected recipients at each school. For this award, a person is selected from among those eligible who has clearly demonstrated the outstanding qualities and efforts in making a difference that we look for in our Queen Creek schools. We would like to invite up the following individuals that were selected by Chrisman High School. Amanda Diodut, Bertha Patino, Melissa Razvani, and Shannon Kennedy. We would also like to ask Elise Torbert, principal of Chrisman High School, to say a few words about how these individuals were selected.
At least it's a portable mic and not one that I have to lower. Lao Tzu, a philosopher, once said, "Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. And kindness in giving creates love." Chrisman High School would like to recognize 4 people that exemplify our core values. These 4 people are the backbone of our school, and they're known for being kind in their everyday interactions. Through their kindness, these 4 people bring Lao Tzu's words alive. They instill confidence in all those around them and create profoundness by making every person they encounter feel meaningful, significant, and loved. And they do so with no expectations in return. Personal integrity clearly drives their actions and decisions, and they always place the interests of students over their own. Through their actions, they help foster a community built of mutual respect, where each person feels heard and valued. We are so lucky to have Amanda Diodut, Shannon Kennedy, Bertha Patino, and Melissa Razvani as part of our Chrisman family. Thank you.
For photos. Next up, we would like to invite the following individuals that were selected by Eastmark High School. Amber Salyer, Terry Henderson, Prudence Sanders, and Annette Samponia. We would like to invite up Jay Schnitger, principal of Eastmark High School, to say a few words about how these individuals were selected.
Good evening. My name is Jay Schnitger, principal of Eastmark High School. In the selection of our 4 outstanding individuals being recognized tonight, we reflected as a school, and we're very proud of the fact that we were recognized as an A-rated school. But when you have an A-rated school, you have outstanding people who work on your campus. And so not only do we have outstanding families and students, we have 4 individuals being recognized tonight that really go above and beyond when it comes to service. Service was the key component that we looked at in determining who are we going to choose. And these 4 individuals, whether they're classified, certified, PTO president, or district employee, have really gone above and beyond when it comes to meeting the needs not only of our students, but of our staff. And so I want to make sure that Terry, Amber, Prudence, and Annette are recognized this evening. So please put your hands together for Eastmark's Power 4 service.
We would like to invite you to go to the back of the room to take photos. Thank you to all 8 ladies. We appreciate all the hard work you do, and the governing board appreciates you. All right, that brings us up to our Student of the Month recognition. Student of the Month statement. The Student of the Month award recognizes and promotes the success of QCUSD students. Recipients are chosen based on the characteristics identified in the PBIS program, such as be kind, be respectful, and show integrity. The Student of the Month is conscientious and exhibits a determination to learn while demonstrating these positive traits. We would like to invite up the following students from Chrisman High School and Eastmark High School who are examples of these characteristics for this recognition. M.E. Pearson, Jacob Kalinowski, Jalen White, and Rebecca LaHaye. The governing board would like to thank you for showing kindness, respect, and integrity. At this time, we invite you to the back of the room for photos. that brings us up to our call to the public, and we have one card today. Individuals who wish to address the board are requested to complete the appropriate form prior to the meeting and give the form to the board secretary. Members of the board may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Members of the board are also not able to comment even if the information is incorrect. Therefore, pursuant to ARS 38-431.01H, action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to any criticisms, or scheduling the matter for a future agenda. The board requests that all comments be limited to 3 minutes or less, and that the public refrain from using speech or language that is offensive or inappropriate, pursuant to Board Policy 1-302. In the event that there are more than 5 requests to speak, the time will be limited to 1.5 minutes each comment. The board president also reserves the right to limit discussion whenever she deems such action appropriate to the proper conduct of the meeting. All right, we have one call to the public. Brad Moore. You're the only one today.
Push that button? Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for letting me come tonight. My name's Brad Moore. I live in the community. I have kids that have attended Newell Barney, Queen Creek Elementary School, and Desert Mountain over the years. We moved here about 9 years ago, and so it's been a pleasure living in the community. I just wanted to come tonight. I've been involved with the anti-teen violence. I've been just physically disturbed at the amount of violence that is taking place in our community lately with the Gilbert Goons. It's shocking to me that happens amongst us in this community. I still can't fathom that takes place. So I just wanted to come tonight and recognize the Queen Creek School Board for such leadership in leading the way. There's been a lot of criticism of other school boards or police departments. I'm just here as a community member to say thank you for your leadership that you've demonstrated. Superintendent Barry, you in particular, setting the stage for the entire district and what you've done out in front, but also behind the scenes. I think it's very, very important. A couple of things that I made some notes here. I know that in 2018, Queen Creek, the board implemented a program, the PBIS program. And I think that you were one of the very first, if not the first, school district to do that. So I think it's remarkable that you've seen the opportunity to lead by example. And I think that's what this is all about. I know that when we first moved here, there was a situation over at Queen Creek High School with a female student by the name of Shy Johnson. And I don't know if all of you were here at the time, but she had some handicap concerns, disability, and she was picked on, even by females. Her own female students were throwing trash at her and treating her just like inhumanely. And the football team wrapped their arms around her, and they had her sit with them at the school lunch table, and really did a great job of leading by example. And I just think that's part of this whole community and the whole thing that you're doing, Superintendent Barry, with leading by example and setting the stage. And I know that wasn't any of us or any of you adults. It was just really neat to see that students did that. And what I saw tonight with all these students that came up here from different backgrounds, they're doing the right things. And I think it's important that we recognize that, and you guys continue to do such a great job in recognizing that and bringing that to the forefront so that we can celebrate those wins. Because that's what these kids need. They need to be celebrated so that they don't look for trouble. They don't look to go out and beat up other innocent kids for fun. I know that the Queen Creek School Department has a strict anti-bullying policy. I'm aware of that. I think it's very important, and it's wonderful that you've done that. Superintendent Barry, you in particular, I think I've mentioned that leadership. It starts with you at the top. I remember one of the first times that I had met you in a school environment was at Newell Barney. My son was at Newell Barney. He received an honors award, and you came to the award ceremony. I've been to a lot of award ceremonies over the years. You're the only superintendent I've ever seen that's actually come to a school award ceremony to celebrate the honors program at Newell Barney. I want to thank you for that. It meant a lot to me. It still does to this day. I know I'm short on time. So one thing I would like to suggest is just a recommendation. I'd love to see if there's any way you could do this. At one of the events, whether it's a football game, whether it's a basketball game, whether it's a theater production or a band concert, if you might consider taking one event each year and recognizing anti-teen violence and anti-bullying. And I don't know, maybe make an announcement at the front of the first of the game or first of the theater performance or the band performance to recognize it. I just think that you all have really set the standard for all the school districts, especially in the East Valley. And I'd like to congratulate you and say thank you for all that you've done and the leadership that you've all provided. Thank you very much.
If you guys could look into that suggestion, that'd be great. Thank you. Thank you. All right, that brings us to our consent agenda.
I move to take the consent agenda in its entirety.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. And then that brings us to action items. A, presentation and possible action to accept the 2023 financial and compliance audit reports. Jessica Johnston.
Good evening, President Revolt, members of the Governing Board. Tonight we have a presentation with the summary of our fiscal year 23 audit, and then later on you'll see an action item to accept that audit. Tonight's presentation focuses on the effective operations and systems priority area, specifically the goals of optimizing the use of funds through fiscal responsibility, strategizing the use of resources through balance planning, and then managing our district systems efficiently through key performance indicators. All of the work that we do in the business office and across the district is with the intention, through the guidance of the Governing Board, to maintain that efficiency and operational effectiveness and be good stewards of our taxpayer dollars. Tonight we're going to talk about why financial audits take place. We're going to talk about the different responsibilities and a timeline of an audit. I'll go over the different components of the annual audit, and then we'll talk about next steps. Any school district who has an annual budget of greater than $2 million is required to have a financial audit annually. All of these documents need to be submitted to the Auditor General's office within 9 months after the fiscal year, so our deadline is always March 31st. These audits are performed in accordance with the U.S. Generally Accepted Auditing Standards, or GAAS. And the goal is to determine whether or not the financial statements are free from material misstatements. That's called the audit opinion. Something to note is that school districts in Arizona must go out for a solicitation to find and procure an auditing firm, and that auditing firm actually has to be approved by the Auditor General's office. So last year we issued an RFP for audit services, awarded the firm that does our audit, and then we submitted that document to the AG's office for approval. There are several benefits to a financial audit. The first is that the auditors provide guidance to the district. They help us to, in their feedback, refine our procedures to make us more effective and more efficient in our practices. This audit also aligns with a critical governing board role. The most crucial governing board role is to approve the annual budget as far as the school operations is concerned. The governing board is also required to review and accept the annual audit, and that helps provide you all with valuable feedback as well about the financial health of the school district. And then finally, reporting in this manner helps to support transparency within the community and provide information to our stakeholders about where their dollars are going. There are two participants in the audit, if you will. We are the auditee as the school district. We're responsible for making financial statements. We're required to present all of those financial statements in accordance with the generally accepted accounting principles. And then the auditor is responsible for opining or providing their opinion on our financial statements to make sure that they're free from misstatement. And they're also required to conduct that audit in accordance with that generally accepted accounting standards. The timeline for the audit is really quite robust. This all begins in July at the very end of the fiscal year. The fiscal year ends on June 30th. At that time, we provide our detailed general ledger that has every transaction for all of the funds within the school district. We provide a listing of software security. We provide enrollment data to the auditors. They come out in August. They're on site for 3 full days within our office, and they provide us with their initial selections. So they review all of the information that we provide in advance, and then they make selections for test work and verification. In November, they ask us, November is after our annual financial report is completed, and then we provide them the detailed general ledger once more time with all of the annual closeout information in it. And they come back in November for an additional 3 days. They provide, they make additional selections. We provide them additional backup. And then they also conduct interviews. They speak with our site and department staff. They interview a governing board member as well. And then December, moving forward, we're in communication with their office, and we work on that reporting piece. And there are 4 different reporting components that we're going to talk about here today. There's the PAFR, the ACFR, the single audit, and the compliance questionnaire. And we'll go into a little bit more detail about those. The Public Annual Financial Report, or PAFR, is a community-friendly document. It contains information regarding district programming and different accolades. There are student accountability pieces and testing information in there, as well as some demographic information and highlights for each of our school sites. This PAFR is published on our district website, and it makes that information really accessible for our community. The Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, or the ACFR, is that detailed report. It's about 135 pages. It has all of our net positions, all of our detailed statistical, technical information regarding our finances. That is submitted to the Maricopa County School Superintendent's Office, the ADE. We also do what's called an EMMA filing. That's a continuing bond disclosure for any districts with outstanding bonds. We also submit to 2 business associations, the Association of School Business Officials International and the Government Financial Officers Association, and they both have certificates of excellence that they award for outstanding financial reporting. So we'll be waiting to hear about those here soon. The single audit report applies to all non-federal entities, so mostly school districts, and not-for-profit organizations. And this is for any entity that expends $750,000 or more annually in federal awards. So this really focuses in on our federal grants. Things like the child nutrition, special education, Title I, any of the ESSER enrollment stability grants that came through the federal government, those are all included in this assessment. There's additional compliance requirements associated with federal grant funds, and the single audit reports on internal controls and compliance on all major federal programs. We also submit this to the Maricopa County School Superintendent's Office, the Arizona Department of Education, through Grants Management, and the Arizona Auditor General's Office. The last piece is the USFR compliance questionnaire. Earlier in the study session, I spoke about the USFR and how that kind of provides us guidance on all of our expenditures and how our internal controls and operational procedures are related to all of our funding. This compliance questionnaire is what's completed during that field work time. They test on their selections. The auditors also conduct staff interviews. And again, we submit the compliance questionnaire to the county school superintendent, the ADE, and the AG's office. This is just a quick overview of some of the components of the uniform system of financial records, everything from governing board management and procedures to budgeting to financial reporting to how we use our classroom site fund, transportation support, records management, all of the pieces that we kind of spoke about earlier this evening as well. And so our next steps will be, we have all of our reports. They're attached for your review to this agenda item. And pending your acceptance, all of these reports will be submitted to their applicable agencies. Are there any questions at this time?
Questions? All right. Thank you so much.
So we need to do a roll call vote for when we do the approval, so I'll call your names when we do that.
Okay, so I'll take a motion.
I move to accept the 2023 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report and Single Audit Reporting Package for the year ended June 30th, 2023.
I'll second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Jennifer?
So I'll actually just call out your name. So Mrs. Campbell, you'll say aye. Or Mr. Knox,
Aye.
Ms. Davis,
Aye.
and Mrs. Revolt.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to B, discussion and action to approve award of contract for RFQ number 24-03-25, construction manager at risk to Core Construction for the construction of high school additions. And I don't want to butcher your name, so if you'll help me for the first time and then I'll remember it.
Vicky Harberts-Goudelet.
Maybe need another one.
I might need another reminder another time, but I will try hard.
Is the green
It's on.
light on?
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, President Revolt, members of the Governing Board. The QCUSD Purchasing Department released a request for qualifications for construction management at risk, or CMAR, for the construction of high school additions on January 26, 2024. These are the additions at Eastmark High School and Chrisman High School that were recently awarded by the SFD. These additions will be built with those dollars awarded by the state. Proposals were received, reviewed, and ranked by the Evaluation Committee. As a result, the Evaluation Committee members selected Core Construction as the highest ranking firm. The procurement summary is attached to your agenda item detail. We recommend for approval.
Thank you. All right, I will take a motion.
I make a motion that the Governing Board approve the award of contract for RFQ number 240325 for the construction of high school additions to Core Construction.
I second.
I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that brings us to personnel. I can take it its entirety or individually.
Yeah. I move to take personnel in its entirety.
First and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
President Revolt, members of the board, if you don't mind, I'll just take a moment to announce that with that vote to approve the personnel section, you just recently approved the new high school principal, Queen Creek High School principal, Mr. Scott Lovely. And Scott's in the crowd. Come on up, Scott. I'd like to give him an opportunity to introduce himself real quick.
Yeah.
President Revolt, members of the Cabinet, Dr. Berry, members of the Cabinet. I'm a Queen Creek resident, and to be named principal of Queen Creek High School, my neighborhood school, is an honor, and I'm truly humbled by this. As principal, I'm committed to collaborating with students, parents, faculty, staff, and stakeholders in the community to continue the mission and vision set forth by Dr. Wolf and his staff, and exploring new opportunities to be innovative and help the students to be successful in the future. Thank you for this opportunity, and I can't wait to get started.
Thank you.
I'd just like to add that we've been fortunate to have him at Eastmark High School, and Queen Creek got a good one. So, welcome.
President Revolt, also like to recognize with that approval, you approved our brand new Desert Mountain Elementary principal for the year 2025-26. Now, she will not be starting next year, but the following year she'll be the principal, and her name is Amber Allen, and she's also here. So would you please come forward and introduce yourself?
Go Coyotes. Board President Revolt, members of the Governing Board, and Dr. Berry, I wanted to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to join the Queen Creek Unified School District team and the Desert Mountain Elementary School family. I'm incredibly honored to have been selected as the next principal of Desert Mountain Elementary, and I'm eager to contribute to the district's mission of empowering our students to achieve excellence and lead with integrity. Thank you once again for this wonderful opportunity. I am looking forward to collaborating with each of you and all of our stakeholders to make a meaningful difference in the lives of our students and the communities we serve. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, congratulations. Next, that brings us to announcements, upcoming board meetings. We have Wednesday, March 20th, a special session. Tuesday, April 9th, study session, regular session. Tuesday, May 7th, regular and study session. And then also our retirement years of service reception at 6 p.m. And then our calendar of events, Thursday, March 7th is early release for elementary and junior high. Friday, March 8th, early release for all schools. March 11th to March 22nd is spring break, no school. Tuesday, March 26th, we have a QCUSD teacher job fair. Thursday, March 28th, we have our cafe event at 7:30 a.m. And Friday, March 29th is a holiday and we don't have school. That brings us to our adjournment. I'll take a motion.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much.